We're back. We're back in business, everybody. I lost my job. I'm unemployed. Things are rough, but we're here. And I'm so excited to be back for Interview with the Vampire Season 2. I am so excited. I'm not joking when I say this. Outside of True Detective, this is my favorite community. You guys are the reason that I kept doing YouTube. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Even though things are kind of rough, we are excited for this. We are geeked for this. We have House of the Dragon coming back, but we have this. And I'm Abby with MotorCityNerds. Hi to all the new subscribers. Hi to everybody coming back. Hi to everybody who's coming back. Because we're here for these toxic vampires of greatness, and we're geeked. I've changed my shirt like 6 times. I've rearranged the camera. We're not going to bother anymore. We're small here, but we have fun. Okay, let's just do this. First off, shout out to Delaney Hales. That's the new Claudia. I totally forgot that somebody else took over. I totally forgot that they changed the actress because she was doing such a good job. So let's give her props real quick. Now, it's been a minute since I've read all through Interview with the Vampire. And I do know that they do spend a big chunk of time on explaining that the ones in the old world, like you think Lestat is bad, he's like, you know nothing of the old world. And I was saying in my reactions and stuff that I think this season they'll show more of a creature side to these predators, to these apex predators that just hunt and murder and kill. And they're going to be more creature-like to us than how our vampires with Louis and Lestat and Claudia have been. And having them against this backdrop of World War I it shows just how ruthless the world is and how ruthless these creatures are. I kept saying we're going to see the real monster side, but then somebody left a really great comment that was like, or we're going to see the more human side. But I don't believe that. I think that it's just a whole thing that Lestat has talked about the old world and how ruthless and vicious it is. We didn't dilly-dally. We weren't dilly-dallying around. We didn't start off in New Orleans or anything. We were already on the ship we're already in Europe. But prior to showing any of that, okay, we're with Armand, toxic times a billion, Louis, and Daniel. Now, I kept saying, what if Armand and Daniel have it out for Louis and screw him over and get together or something? But then I was shocked. I was shocked. The way Daniel Malloy was teeing off on Armand this whole episode, I was like, no way. No way. This is like a billion-year-old creature of murder and death, and you are just waggling your finger in his face, telling him, we'll get to you in a minute. And I'm like, oh my God, Daniel. Oh my God, what a boss. What a boss. What a badass. I really loved that. But the whole episode, he's like, why don't you pipe down over there unless you want to be on the record, yada, yada, yada. And they start going through Claudia's writings again. And Louis is having these weird issues with memory. Now, we knew memory was going to be big. And like I was saying, I didn't think we would get Lestat immediately. And I'm hoping that it's relatively, probably before halfway through the season, that we get him physically back. I hope. But Lestat is going to be in Louis' memory, messing with that and how hard it was for him to break up with him. And I did like the way they were showing it, but I didn't think they were going to go fully into Louis is not remembering things correctly. And obviously, Armand does not want him to remember them the way they really happened. And spoiler, 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 if you've seen the original movie or if you've read the book, you know that Armand plays a huge role in how Claudia goes out. Oh, and shout out to AMC for making this an hour and a half. I really appreciated that. Now, they kind of fast forward in the original movie of them going around Europe, and I just can't remember how long they're going around Europe for in the book, but they do that, and they do try to find ones all like them before they go to France. Like, I always hype things up, even without understanding the other languages they were speaking, and I think one was Romanian and one was German, because Romanian is a Romance language, so it sounds a little bit like French and Spanish, and yada, yada, yada. So I could tell there was 2 different ones going on, but we didn't have to know exactly what was going on because this was doing such a good job of showing us pictures on a screen called filmmaking, and we understood the vibe. They're freaking out. They're scared. There's some type of entity that they believe in outside of the horrible things going on in this war. Or it might be right after the war ended, but either way, they're still dealing with the struggles of that, but they are more concerned with whatever's out in the woods. And showing Claudia and Louis going from place to place and breaking the thing off the sarcophagus and showing them jump around and showing them dealing with people and knowing they're still the thing that could harm everybody. I really liked that vibe, especially using the war, because these should be the big bads running around. These soldiers, they have guns, they have military stuff, but no, they don't hold a candle to these two. But we do. We spend a lot of time of them going through this village and then meeting these people, and they're in Romania, like I said. And obviously some of them think they're off and some don't. The one giveaway is that they're black, and that keeps getting brought up, and how they've never seen that before and how it's rare and all this stuff, and but they're still making their way across Europe using this story, and people start to call them on their BS. Showing even over here it's different. It might not be how it is in America, but there's a way that we're being treated or looked at or gawked at over here. While Louis is chumming it up with the adults, Claudia goes to figure out what the kids are doing or what they know. And Louis kind of telling her, if you want to figure things out, why don't you go with the kids? And in the middle of that, and this is what I mean, Jacob Anderson, Louis, needs to be nominated for an Emmy. Him getting all emotional and realizing he is not remembering things 100% correctly and really remembering them and feeling and crying was so emotional. And I was like, oh my God, Louis. And that's where this series does not falter. It can change the time period. We can change the race of a character. We can change we can change all these things. It does not matter as long as we keep those fundamentals of these characters there and we get the same feeling for these characters that we got when we watched the original movie, when we read the book. As long as those feelings, those vibes that you feel through that character are there and they stay true to that character, we love that because you stayed true to the character. It does not matter how you changed the things around them. But that's what I mean. We still know the vibe here. And Louis is so sad. But then, Armand starts panicking. Obviously, Armand is shitting a brick over here. And we're like, why? Because you don't want him to know things correctly? You're toxic. You're bad. And then he tells Louis later on, no, you need to send him away because he's just trying to tear you down so he can be the one to build you back up. And I'm like, no, that's what you did. That's what you did, Armand. And that's what you want to do. I think, no, stop it. So toxic. And I just want to see Armand and Lestat fight. And Louis like, that's not what Daniel's doing. And Armand's like, it totally is. And I'm totally toxic. Like I said, Daniel is giving it to Armand the whole episode. The entire episode. And I loved it. I think the reaction is on my TikTok. Okay. But then he starts talking with Daniel again, right? And we're flashing back again. And that's when we see them find another vampire. And when Louis was talking shit, it was so funny. He's like, I'm a vampire. I don't know what the fuck that is. That is a catfish with teeth. I was like, oh my God. But the way they got the feeling across that she really like looked at this thing as a child really came across, because at first we're like, fuck that thing up. And then after it rips the eyes out and it's screaming in pain, you do kind of feel for it. But once again, like I said, we're seeing a creature here. Now, throughout the episode, Louis has been saying there's something wrong with the blood here. And it's because of what all these people have been going through. And we find this old woman vampire. And Claudia is so happy. She just says a woman vampire, like I've never seen one. And she really wants to talk to and get to know this woman. And they follow her. They're like, we get the sense she wanted us to. And we get back to her after she offs the one that they ripped the eyes out, which was wild. And that thing was creepy looking running out of the woods. I'll just give it that. And the makeup in this was really great. The effects in this were really great. And they follow her, and we find out that she's got like several people she's been trying to change, but it's not working right. She's looking like shit. She's looking all frail and messed up. But she's going on and on and on, telling Claudia about this life they could live if she goes with them and all this stuff. And Claudia lets her drink from her and gives her like a prophecy back. But Claudia's really like believing what she's saying. And this lady's just saying what life could be, but I'm giving up. And she tells Claudia after she drinks her blood kind of exactly what's going to happen to her. But you can tell Claudia is just so happy to have another one there that she could possibly have a bond with, and outside of Louis, because Louis is never going to fully commit to being there for her. He's always going to have these others on his mind. They're always going to come first. And so she's trying to find something to belong to. So when that lady jumped into the fire and offs herself, she's mortified. And you see her get so excited and then just broken when that happens. Sorry, let's go back to this really quick. How about when they chopped that lady's head off back at the factory village, whatever, where they were wild. That was crazy. I liked how the locals were like, nope, you got to cut all the way through. A bullet won't do it. You got to do this. You got to do that. And I'm like, oh, snap. But like I said, we're in Romania, and I like them doing that. But prior to that woman dying, she does tell them there are others. After she shows her the thing that she tore off the sarcophagus earlier that we find. But that's the tragic part about this little part of the book and the movie and whatever is Claudia really thinks she's going to find this other purpose, and that goes awry. Before we get into the ending as much, because I thought they did that really well, I just want to talk about how well this episode has set things up again, where we did spend more time with jumping around Europe and setting that up and setting up the vibe for being in Europe, that I'm not upset with it because I did feel like a couple things I wanted a bit more, but I still loved this episode and I'm still geeked. I feel like there's going to be so much in these next few that I'm not hating on that. That's called setting something up well. So then Louis is all about going to Paris. He's all about going to France. He's all about going to the mother of New Orleans. And they're all being dramatic and great, and we love it. And like I said, Daniel is still telling Armand to shut his weasel little mouth. But they drop the big bomb of, we're going to France, we're going to Paris, that's where we want to go. And I'm under the impression that we're immediately just going to jump to that. We're not going to dilly-dally anywhere else. We're going to immediately jump to France. And they set that up when they're talking. But when Louis tells Claudia, and that's what makes it so tragic and so sad, no matter what, I'd always choose you. And she knows that's bullshit. She knows that's not true. She knows that he's always going to put Lestat in front of everybody. And that's just how it is. She knows that that's why he didn't off Lestat. And she says it. You didn't kill him. You didn't burn him. You didn't light him on fire. And that's a constant struggle between the two the entire episode. But I thought the dialogue in this is always so good. The dialogue is so good. It's so great. They do a great job with it. And it's beautiful. That line in the book, in the movie, in all of it, what do the damned have to say to the damned? Like, it can come off so Shakespearean, but then also very common. And I just love that about it. What do the damned say to the damned? It can be this like serious thing or almost like a joke. And I love that. And it's just pretty. And a lot of the stuff they say comes right out of the book, but also it's just written so, it's like poetry. And I've been saying that about this show where it's beautifully done. And I stand by this. I think this is one of the best shows on television. And if you're not watching it, you should be. You're crazy. But you guys, I'm so happy to have this back. I really am. And I probably missed some stuff because I'm so excited. But yeah, we're going to do more in-depth stuff. We're going to watch, they have like a behind-the-scenes thing up, but I'm telling you guys, I've been so excited for this to come back and so excited to just have the community and have you guys around. I swear to God, I've been so geeked and I'm so excited for this. And I swear, if they are not nominated for Emmys, at minimum, Jacob Anderson, that's bullshit. That's utter bullshit. And I'm Abby. I'm on OF. I'm on TikTok. I'm on all the things down below. Yeah. Interview with the Vampire, man. It's so good.